Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here for checking out the episode. Hit that subscribe button, of course, so you can keep up with all the interviews that I put out every single week, just like this one. A new one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 3 interviews a week to keep you up to date on your favorite artists and discover those new ones. You can grab us anywhere in podcast land, like Spotify, Apple Podcast, at NPR. WFPK.org, Consequence, or of course, right here on YouTube for the video versions. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you can subscribe to Kyle Meredith with. That's me, Kyle Meredith. Today, I get to talk with Minnie Driver, iconic actress behind films such as Good Will Hunting, Grosse Point Blank. She's back in season 2 of The Serpent Queen, out now on Starz. Opposite, once again, Samantha Morton, playing the Queen Mother. Minnie gets to play Queen Elizabeth I, and how do I say this? It is a delicious version of this queen, a very rock and roll version, outlandish. It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen Minnie do. So we're going to talk about the inspiration behind this, how to conjure this type of character for Queen Elizabeth. She was known as the Virgin Queen, but as Minnie will tell you, that was a whole lot of branding that was a part of it. She was someone with a big appetite for a lot of things. So we're going to get into the character. We're going to get into playing opposite Samantha Morton. I'd love to know if we're going to see more of this. I don't know, how the story's going to go from here, but that's all in here. We're also going to talk about music. Minnie Driver's put out some fantastic albums, 3 albums in her career. So I want to talk a little bit about if maybe there will be a 4th on the way. We'll also hear about Coldplay. She once opened up for Coldplay and REM, but she was recently at a show and they dedicated a very special song to her. So all that and more. We're talking season 2 of The Serpent Queen, out now on Starz. It's Kyle Meredith with Minnie Driver. Hi, Minnie.
Hi there.
Before I smother you with compliments on what's going to be an iconic role here, I also had to tell you how much I enjoy your podcast. I just wanted to say that at the beginning. We've had some mutual friends on lately with Liz and Rufus, and this new season has
Oh,
been fantastic. So,
I'm so glad. Thank you.
yeah.
Obviously, Rufus Wainwright and Liz, iconic, amazing people. Only icons, I really should call my podcast
Only
because
I, seriously, I love what you do with that. But to the subject at hand here, what you're doing in this role in the Serpent Queen has got to be one of your greatest roles, and I've been such a fan for a long time. So to say that, um, I think you've described or someone described her as a woman of appetites.
oh yes,
What did
she.
that mean for her?
Well, it means that she has an appetite for a lot of different things, which to me means life in general. She wakes up every day and she is ready to tackle all of those things that I think make most of us not want to get out of bed. She is interested in becoming apart at the seams of certain aspects of life because I think she enjoys putting things back together. She enjoys the power that she has. Um, and she has a rapacious appetite for politics. I truly believe she was a woman not unworldly. I think the Virgin Queen was merely branding, which is something that Justin Have really coined. And I think she enjoys her power, and that's fun to play.
Yeah, yeah, that's because you have Sam's queen, and who professes that her driving forces are her kids, and I'm sure the power is a part of that. For you, I mean, is it just the power, do you think?
Listen, enough people tried to kill Elizabeth I from when she was a small child onwards. She was really protected by a very small group of men who knew that people were going to try and kill her. But I think growing up with that knowledge, your dad cut off your mum's head and then everyone was trying to kill you. The fact that she became one of the most extraordinarily powerful women who've ever lived on this planet, at her time, both, politically and literally, is astonishing. Like they broke the mold with Elizabeth I. Um, she is she is a survivor, and Catherine de Medici is a survivor, but they're surviving for very different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there is a corruption in Catherine de Medici that maybe it's easy for me to say I don't think it existed in Elizabeth, because as we all know, she did cut Mary's head off. But um, I don't think she has to be as manipulative as Catherine, because her position, in a way, weirdly, is more assured.
Yeah. It's um the whole I mean, I guess I'm piggybacking on what you're saying because women in power. I'm using another one of your quotes recently too, because it was 'cause I think you said sort of like an oxymoron back then, and what they would have had to have done.
Yeah,
That Oscar Wilde quote, "Everything is about sex except sex. Sex is about power."
yeah.
Like how much of the real, Queen Elizabeth is in this role? Because I you know there's
Who knows? I mean, who
yeah.
knows? Justin always says, we weren't there. We don't know. Who's to
Mhm.
say that it wasn't? Who's to say that a meeting between Catherine de Medici and Elizabeth wouldn't have looked like this? Who's to say that Elizabeth didn't have lots of lovers? Who's to say? We just don't know. We can surmise what we have. We have some categorical evidence um, that you can go by, but nobody really knows. So you
Right.
are kind of making it up.
Yeah, I believe it. I would have fallen prey to her right from the beginning. I mean, she is the way you play her in this, I swear, it's so good. Because there's a very rock and roll spirit to her,
Yes,
and I'm sure the
yes,
costuming helps out a bit on that, but just the attitude that you're projecting right there. But there's also this sort of bless your heart in that southern way, where bless your heart doesn't mean bless your hearts.
definitely. What was so brilliantly fun is that Elizabeth is in control the whole time. She's in control when she's on a fact-finding mission to find out just how extensive Catherine's power is. She's in control when she lets Catherine believe that she's going to marry one of her sons. She's she's playing, but there's a deliciousness in her manipulation. She's never unseated, and it's very fun to play someone who is completely free because they know they hold all the cards. And Catherine's only, well, not her only mistake, but her mistake with Elizabeth is thinking that she holds any cards at all.
I just love the way watching the both of you all play off of each other. Do you yeah, as I mentioned her being sort of this rock and roll attitude. Did you use any music in prep for her?
You know what? I didn't, but I know, Justin, he would write music cues into the script, and I would like have a listen. Like I got where he was coming from. I mean, it was very fun when I was doing my Instagram posts about the announcement and stuff. Like I love putting Killer Queen by Queen over like a picture of Elizabeth. Like to me, that is funny and cool and great. And I also think I used Heroes by David Bowie. Um, I will be king. You will be queen. I mean, it's fun. It's fun putting music over these, but I don't know. I said this before today, and I've actually really realized it's very true. Elizabeth the First comes to meet you. Like if she's going to let you play her, uh, there's something sovereign about it. Like she comes to meet you and she does all the work for you.
Yeah. Well, Bowie over my shoulder. That couldn't have been more perfect. Thank you for that. That's which by the way, it's been a decade since your last album. Do you
No,
think
it's
you've got another one in
terrible.
you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I write all this time. It's just making a record and then going and promoting the record. It's kind of like between having a child and COVID and writing books and podcasts. It's music it never takes a back place. It just does publicly. Like I'm always playing. Like my son and I jam all the time. I play the guitar and the piano every day. Like I write, but I'm 100% going to make time to make another record, for sure.
Yeah, as a fan of your three albums,
Thank
three albums,
you.
I think.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that again. And I did hear the Nick Drake, was it Saturday Sun that you
Yeah.
did?
Did
And
that with Troy Kingi for a lovely movie that was out in I think it's coming to streaming in the US and the UK, but it was a movie I made in New Zealand.
yeah, and just one more on the music side, knowing that you were at the Coldplay show and getting Sparks dedicated to you of all the Coldplay
Unbelievable.
songs. That's
I'm telling you, that was a moment I will never forget in my life. Truly, it was sort of heart stopping. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea that he was going to do that. And my son just grabbed my arm, and my sister and my nieces, like there's something about it because that show is, you cannot be unmoved by that show. There is proper medicine in what that band is putting out into the world. And that particular song, which I know it's so meaningful for so many people, but it's one of the most beautiful melodies ever written, I think. To hear everyone was silent and 60,000 people in the stadium, and then them to dedicate to me, well, it was a moment, that's for sure.
and to know that you've opened up for not just them, but REM on that same bill. And it's mind-blowing moments
Incredible.
in a career that you've had here.
Amazing. I've been very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Truly.
I need a spinoff of this Queen. I really hope for somehow that happens. I would love to see it. In the
That's
meantime,
awesome.
seeing you in the Serpent Queen has been so fun. Minnie, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank
It's
you
been a real
very much
pleasure.
indeed. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.